All right. Good afternoon, Christine. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. So I'm very excited to chat with you this afternoon. You've applied to a branch management position at another staffing firm that we are representing for a direct hire role. You've got some fantastic experience in manufacturing, logistics, staffing, management, site management. So I'm going to kind of let you take the stage a little bit and tell us about yourself personally to get started.
I am new to Florida, so I'm still learning how things are. I have been doing staffing for about 5 years.
Great.
Actually, when I moved to Texas, I got sort of thrown in there. Someone liked my warehouse experience because before that I was doing warehouse, and they said, I think you'd be great to start doing staffing, recruiting, human resources from that standpoint because you're going to know what you're interviewing about. And then from there, I just moved on up, and I've been doing management for the past 3 years. I've done day shift, night shift, weekend shifts, all kinds of things. It's something I definitely enjoy doing thus far.
Wonderful. Yeah, I know when we were talking a little bit off camera, you're going, oh my God, I'm used to being on call 24/7. So we promise we won't keep you on call 24/7, but we do like that you've got that availability and you are able to cater to your clients based on what the market is asking for, whether it's something that would be overnight or during the day. Now let's talk about your management experience as far as the size of the team that you manage. How many folks have reported to you in the past?
I have had small teams. The most has been 10 that I have had reporting under me.
Okay. And were those also recruiters and staffing managers?
I had one staffing manager under me because she was on the later half of the shift. So I was primarily gone when she was there. And then from that, it was recruiters.
Okay, beautiful. Now let's talk a little bit about your actual sales experience as it relates to staffing. So tell us from your last company what your role was in the sales aspect. Did you have to come up with your own leads? Did you follow up on leads that were generated by the company? What did that look like?
I have done both. I'm definitely on the ground running to get my own leads for sales or even recruiting people. That's the best way it works. So usually I would make these little like candy things sometimes, and I would put a sign on it with my card, and and I've done it to other people when I'm working on it on site, and I'll say, oh yeah, I'll pass it to the manager. So it was just a consistently getting my own leads. I would try to go out at least once or twice a week for a few hours and just going to finding new developments of warehouses that maybe they haven't released who bought it yet, and just dropping off business cards, dropping off candy and that's how I got a lot of the customers that we had.
Okay, awesome. That's fantastic. Now let's talk about the recruiting, because I know that you did some very heavy recruiting for the warehouses that you recruited for. So, and on average, and I know it might have changed from different companies, how many recs would you say on average were on your desk that you were responsible for?
Any given time, it actually got more crazy during COVID. So I would say between 400 to 500.
400 to 500. Now, were those all local positions, or were you recruiting on a national basis?
They were all local positions.
Local positions.
Local to the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Dallas-Fort Worth. All right, beautiful. And what type of skill sets were you primarily focused on? I know you mentioned doing a little bit of HVAC, some of the refrigeration work, and also the warehouse position. So what skill sets were you recruiting for?
We did HVAC. I did do some electricians, maintenance workers, a lot of entry level as well.
Okay, a lot of
entry level, and then I did do leads, and I did do warehouse management as well.
Beautiful. Now let's talk a little bit about the financial side of things. So I know that you're very familiar with the markups and how they work in staffing, but you did mention that the budgets that would come down for your specific site, those were set in place by corporate, correct?
These were set in place by corporate, yes.
Okay, great. Now that's totally okay. But you are familiar with reading the GM reports and the revenue reports from your current staff?
Exactly. Yep.
Beautiful. Were you working with a proprietary software for that specific company, or were you guys utilizing Excel, or what type of software programs were you working with?
No, they had their own software company that they use. They had their own IT on there. So everyone used that software.
Okay, beautiful.
It was actually very outdated compared to some of the other stuff that I've seen.
Yeah, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. This one's pretty up to date. So I think it'll be a nice breath of fresh air. It'll be something a little bit to learn, but I have no doubt in my mind that you'll be able to pick it up quickly. Christine, at this point in your career, what would you say is the most important thing to you about the next company that you work for?
I definitely want the ability to grow. I loved my job in Texas. The only reason I left it is because I moved here to Orlando. But I will say they didn't have many growth opportunities, and I definitely want to be able to grow with a company.
Yep.
The sky's the limit. Whatever I could, I always want to make sure that I'm being better at what I'm doing.
And how soon are you available to start?
ASAP.
You got it. All right, great. Well, Christine, I'm going to go ahead and turn off this recording and chat with you a little bit more off camera if that sounds good to you.
Yep, sounds great.